With me I've got Jesse Westgate, who's been coming to Bett for the last 18 years.
Like you said, I've been coming about 18 years, and I think there's been a lot of changes at Bett, but some of the issues that I find, and I think we're still seeing today, is that probably about 10 or 15 years ago when we had this big thing about BSF and the changes in IT in education, the bit that they didn't really address then was the use of IT for educational outcomes. Pedagogy wasn't at the heart of it. It became a financial model to put more IT equipment into the classroom. And I think that we're still suffering maybe a little bit from how IT is used properly in the classroom. Now, if I went around Bett today and I look at some of the stands that I can see just here, what we have seen as a massive change at Bett is the introduction of much more smaller startup companies and software focus. But my question might be back to everybody else is, what problem are they actually solving in the classroom? What outcomes are we really seeing that are being addressed by the use of IT? If you went and looked at some of these stands, it's very difficult to tell exactly how they differentiate their offering from somebody else and what benefit that gives teachers and students alike in the classroom. That's the bit that hasn't changed, and we've seen that in the last 18 years, and we're still here doing exactly the same thing. I don't want to come across too cynical or too confusing in regards to what I'm saying. As a technologist that's been working in the industry for a long time, I don't know that there's a simple outcome in regards to the use of technology. I think that we need to go back to some basic pedagogy that basically says, if we are using technology, what is it for the outcome? Now, we know that we are teaching children for jobs and problems that we don't even know what they are now, okay? And we've seen that. We saw 10 years ago that there wasn't jobs like social media managers, there wasn't people in certain marketing roles, digital, and we've seen that change. So how are we teaching kids now in the classroom for those jobs? And what's the next 10 years going to look like? Technology isn't necessarily the answer, it's part of the problem as well. And I think that's where we see this, it's too confusing. Bett is an amazing show. Has it evolved? Yes, because we've seen the growth and change of technology, but have we seen the real change in the curriculum and the pedagogy? I don't think we have we?
No, I don't think we have. I'd agree with that.
So I think there's the challenge. We're just changing one technology for another piece, trying to look for a problem to solve, but we're not really seeing a massive change in those curriculum outcomes and the teaching and learning outcomes.
Yeah.